back to the channel. As you can see here, I'm at the free agency stage of the 2025-26 season. So this is going to be the 25-26 season recap. As you kind of see here, we did not win the Stanley Cup. This is going to be a quick recap of kind of regular season and playoffs and whatnot. So I kind of start off with the regular season. So this team finished with a 50, 27, and 5 record, which was good for 105 points and first in the Pacific / second overall in the NHL, the President's Trophy. We kind of scroll there now. President's Trophy. Tampa Bay Lightning with 115 points. Our leading scorer was Pavel Buchnevich with 28 goals, 48 assists, 76 points. As you can see here, he's not kind of pictured there, so we'll kind of get into that in a sec. But in terms of goals for and goals against per game, we scored 3.27 goals for per game, which was 7th in the league, and the goals against it was 2.68 goals against, which is first in the league. In terms of Matthew Coronato's stats, as you can see, he finished with 26 goals, 32 points, for 32 assists for 58 points, so a slight improvement on last season, where he had 55 points this rookie season, so slow but steady growth. I'll take it. Better than him regressing the sophomore year, so I'll take it. Kind of in terms of playoffs, we'll kind of get into that. As I said, Scott and the Canadiens won the Stanley Cup. They beat the Chicago Blackhawks. So in terms of kind of how the playoffs went and whatnot, let's kind of look at that now. So, what do we got matched up again? It's the Winnipeg Jets. So excuse me. They won 6 games, won games 1 and 2, 1-0, 3-2. Winnipeg won game 3, 5-3. They won game 4, 2-1. Winnipeg won game 5, 3-1. And then we won game 6, 3-0. Round 2, we got a matchup against the Golden Knights, who beat the Canucks in the first round. So we swept them. The scores were 2-0, 4-3, 2-1, 2-1. And then as you can see there, we lost to the Chicago Blackhawks in the conference finals, which really upsets me because you would think that as an Islanders fan, my least favorite team is the Rangers, but it's actually the Chicago Blackhawks, so kind of losing to them, I'm not too happy about it, but this dimension decided to bend us over. Can't really do much about it. So Chicago won games 1 and 2, 4-3, and 5-2. We won game 3, 6-3. They won game 4, 8-3. We won game 4, also 8. That makes no sense. We lost game 4, 8-3, and then we also lost game 5, 3-2, and lost the series. And then Chicago lost in 7 to Montreal, which I'm not too upset about. In terms of playoffs score, our leading scorer in the playoffs was Pavel Buchnevich with 2 goals, 14 assists for 16 points in 15 games played. In terms of Coronato, he had a pretty good playoffs, 4-4 for 8 points in the 15 games we played, which isn't bad, TBH. So I'll take the season. I guess that's its success. We improved from last year in terms of Scott making the playoffs and getting a deep run again. So yeah, it's good to kind of go through the awards kind of real quick in general. Versus the team awards, it's just the individual ones, not quick. So Kucherov was the leading scorer in the league with 95 points, so he won the Art Ross. Hart went to Matthew Coronato, which I don't quite understand because he finished with 91 points, which is like tied for like, I don't even know, like 5th or so in the league. And then like one of his teammates, Sam Reinhart, scored more points than him. I think 92 points. I don't really understand why Kachuk got picked. Norris was Adam Fox, who finished with 92 points. Lady Big went to Cole Caulfield, who finished with 89 points for the Canadiens. Calder went to the CPU kind of game generated person. Conn Smythe went to Kirby Doc. The best man once again went to Demko. Jennings, as you if you remember, I said our goals against per game was 2.68, which was first in the league, which meant that Vanacek and Markstrom kind of shared the William and Jennings trophy. The Masters went to Brian Dumoulin. Jack Adams went to Arizona's coach as they made the playoffs as the third of the Central Division, 94 points. Selke went to Kopitar. Lindsay went to Kachuk again, which I don't quite understand, and Rocket Richard went to Austin Matthews. So that's kind of how the playoffs and whatnot went. In terms of the draft, kind of once again had a solid amount of picks and stuff, kind of use it mixture of forwards and defensemen and whatnot. We'll kind of see how they do. In terms of like, kind of this is a quick like fun little thing kind of decided to do. So in terms of our like original 2024 draft class, all of them except for 2 are kind of third. Left wing we picked 55th overall, and then left defense we picked 61st overall. Everyone else besides those 2 have been signed to their entry-level contracts. The other 2 kind of just didn't have room for them in the squad and the roster, so I let them go. So pretty good success rate on kind of that draft, I'd say. So I'm probably gonna keep doing that this series, potentially another series as well, kind of recapping the draft classes. We'll probably mostly these more modern ones where it's a little easier to navigate those kind of menus, and the drafting is a little easier to understand and stuff. But yeah. So yeah, so the draft, we got another pretty decent one in terms of kind of trades and whatnot. The only thing was at the draft I kind of chucked off like 2 different sets of kind of draft picks. One to Buffalo for kind of handful of picks in 2027 draft, and then a kind of handful to Carolina for the second in 2027. So that was kind of in terms of trades and stuff. In terms of the kind of summer free agent business, as you probably noticed, either Buchnevich or Rantner were kind of anywhere on like the kind of player stats screen. That's because I let them go, not because they didn't really fit the scheme in the appropriate way. Rantner, ironically enough, had the exact same kind of setup as Matt Coronato, so he would have been perfect for the second line, but he's like Brandon's a 95 overall player, and Coronato's a player of focus, so he's not getting moved. So Rantner couldn't stay around. Kind of same deal with like pretty much everyone else we signed except for Oli Mata, who was kind of a perfect fit for a third pair. So our third pair is kind of long term going to be him and Miro Mana, so that's pretty good. We have that kind of settled. So we have basically one line, like 2/3 of the second line, and then our third pair kind of all settled. So in terms of free agency and stuff, we needed an entire new first line again, as it seems we do every season. Kind of 13th forward, 7th defenseman, and a third line right winger again, because Kevin LeBanc didn't really work out in terms of scheme fit. Top kind of 4 right D, because Rasmus Anderson didn't want to sign a new contract, so I had to let him go. And then who did we sign there? It was like Vakanainen. He like was an emergency thing. He didn't fit the scheme at all, so he wasn't staying around. And then both goalies, Vanchek didn't want to stick around, and Markstrom like kind of declined to a point where there wasn't any really point in keeping him. So we needed 2 new goalies. So kind of in terms of free agency business, you probably saw some of those in terms of the point screen and stuff. But we'll go here to view contracts to kind of check them out in more detail. So in terms of the kind of first line center, I went with, surprisingly enough, Judas Iscariot himself, John Tavares. The options were like really thin. It's basically Sam Bennett, who didn't fit at all, Malkin, who's kind of also declining and old. There was no point really keeping him, and then John Tavares is like really the only option left. So I relented and signed him to a 1-year contract. Our then kind of 13th forward here is Connor Dewar on a 1-year deal. See how he kind of fits in as 13th forward. And then left wing went with Mason Marchman here because he has an X Factor on a 1-year deal, so he's kind of our best option out there. So hopefully he kind of fits in nicely, and he has an X Factor, which will make things a little easier in terms of kind of line chemistry stuff. The right wing went with Alex Tuck, again because he has a couple X Factors as first line right winger, and on another 1-year deal, so hopefully he fits as well, but if he doesn't, then not a huge deal. Noel Nemstrom was their kind of third line right wing choice for agency. There was kind of a handful of options. I went with him. He's a sniper. We'll see. Hopefully he fits. And on defense, went with Sean Walker, who's kind of supposed to be like our kind of middle pair kind of option, but is going to end up being our top pair option at least for this season because the player, I pretty much got everyone I wanted initially except for Jacob Trouba. It was going to be our kind of first pair right defenseman option, but he ended up signing with the Wild instead. So Sean Walker here, we signed him to a 1-year deal. Hopefully he kind of works out. There's the top kind of 4, it's like the top 2 pairs in the same kind of scheme fits. So he fits the top pair for this kind of 1 season. He'll be good for the next season. So the middle pair. And then Connor Clifton I signed kind of as a kind of temp thing in the middle pair. So hopefully one of the 2 of them works for the middle pair. And then not move him on and whatnot, and then kind of 7th defenseman with ex-Islanders prospect Robin Salad, who I think is like overplaying in Europe now. It never really worked out at the NHL level, unfortunately. But yeah, so he's kind of still kicking around in game, so signed him to 1-year deal over a 7th defenseman. Then goalie, yeah, it's kind of where we splashed the cash. Went and signed Jeremy Swayman to a big, I think it was 7-year deal? 7-year, almost $10 million a year deal. I know kind of goalies are voodoo, you're not really supposed to sign long-term deals and whatnot, but it's a video game. That kind of voodoo doesn't really apply in real life and games, so I was like, why not? He's a bunch of X factors and stuff. And he had a decent season last season, 910 save percentage, so I'll take it. So hopefully he's kind of our goalie for the future here. And then as his backup, signed Chris Drieger to a 2-year contract. He had a year backup, so kind of a tandem for at least the next 2 seasons, which is nice. And that's kind of it for the business. The only thing is just like a couple of AHL level players that aren't really important, but yeah, so that's kind of it in terms of the bit, like our free agency business and whatnot. So in terms of kind of expectations, kind of wrap up expectations for next season is kind of hopefully we should make the playoffs again with kind of the replacements made for the players we got rid of are kind of relatively equal value for the most part. So it should be okay. We should hopefully make the playoffs. They're not expecting us to be like top of the Pacific again, but at least as long as we make the playoffs, anything can happen. So that's kind of my mantra with these kind of things. Once you make the playoffs, anything can really happen in the game. So that's all my goal is to make the playoffs. Hopefully get some favorable matchups against either like Edmonton or Nashville or Chicago here, and kind of advance far and kind of hopefully get over this conference final hump that we've been in 2 out of 3 seasons. But with that, it's kind of nothing really else to recap, so hopefully you enjoyed this kind of 25-26 season recap. I hope you watch the next video, which will be the 26-27 season recap as well. Thank you.